After waiting a few years, Joker has finally got a sequel, Joker Folie à Deux. I saw it last night with a few friends. I'm still kind of like in awe of the entire experience. I've never really felt so confused about how I feel towards the movie. I never felt so mixed on this particular movie. I didn't expect to feel mixed about it. And it's interesting because going into it, I know that a lot of people did not like it. I tried to resist the urge to look at the Rotten Tomatoes score. It was like 33 for like the critics, and then like 35 for like the audience. That got me a little bit worried, so I kind of went in with lower expectations and kind of nervous about the whole experience in general. And you know, Joker 1 was great. That was a great movie. I did a video on my channel talking about that, and a few weeks ago, just talking about the whole experience of that movie. And you know, we waited for the sequel for like, you know, years now. It's been 5 years since the original movie. You know, before we dive deep into the video and kind of like the movie overall, spoiler warning, obviously, just in case if you have not seen it. If you don't want spoilers, please click off of the video. You know, if you already read the title, you already know what you're thinking. You know, it seems like so many people are divided by this movie, including me. Like, there's some parts of it I love, and some parts of it I'm disappointed by, some parts that I kind of hate. And to be honest, I'm still not sure where I land personally, and like where I like see the movie, if I like it or not. Because of course there are parts that I really like, but some of it might have been ruined, or elements of this movie may have even ruined the first Joker, because, you know, this is a sequel. It kind of follows up on that storyline and the character of Arthur. You know, when I walked out of the theater, me and my friends, we just kind of looked at each other like, okay. Especially with the ending, which we'll get into obviously later. That's what everyone is kind of talking about. I enjoyed the experience nonetheless. It's a very out there movie. And, you know, going into this, I already knew that. I already knew that this was going to be a musical. There was going to be, obviously, music involved, Lady Gaga and stuff. I already knew that this was going to be a crazy movie nonetheless. But it was funny because none of my friends even knew that there was a musical. So it was interesting seeing their reaction during the movie and stuff. And I'm surprised that, like, I'm interested to see, like, how many people who didn't know that this was a musical going into it. Were they shocked? Did they even like it? My one friend said it was like too much, over the top. I guess just talking about the musical aspect, I actually kind of liked the musical aspect, and it's exactly how I thought it was going to be. You know, a lot of it is in his imagination, of course. Some of it is actually in real life, you know, when they're escaping Arkham and then they're dancing out in the courtyard and stuff like that. And, you know, some of that is real, but a lot of the musical stuff, especially when he is Joker, is in his imagination. Is when, like, you know, him and Harley, and he's kind of feeling in love and that kind of thing. You know, I think this review is going to be all over the place. I have a few like bullet points here, but I feel like I just want to jump all over just because there is a lot to talk about with this movie. And for me, I'm just kind of divided on how I feel about certain things, like I said before, and I'm just like trying to get all my opinions out there, because I'm still like thinking, and the more I talk about it, the more I talk about it with friends, the more I watch more YouTube videos, more I kind of have a firmer opinion of it. So hopefully by, you know, making this review, and, you know, hopefully you guys can comment on your thoughts on the movie as well. Hopefully I'll form a better opinion about this movie. But, you know, like I said before, the musical aspects were really good. I actually liked that part of it. I would say the first opening, like the first 40 minutes of it, were really strong. I think it opened out really great, very unexpected. The Looney Tunes animated short was a really great touch. Him in Arkham, him in this prison, seeing it open up in a different light. It was very dark, and it was very different approach than what I was expecting. And then when it turns into like the musical aspects, when he meets Lee, and like kind of like the musical part of Arkham where they keep like less crazier patients, that part was really great. I really liked that part. A lot of it I did like, but around like the middle portion, I started to get a little bit boring, you know. It started to get like a little bit repetitive, especially when they go to the courtroom scenes. Now, I really liked some of the courtroom scenes, them bringing back old characters as well. Like, you know, we saw Gary, the neighbor, the social worker from like the first movie. So I actually was really surprised that they brought in a lot from the first movie, a lot of the characters. And I thought a lot of the courtroom scenes were great. I thought they were just kind of drug out. And, you know, it's weird because the first movie it's very fast paced, even though it doesn't feel like it. You know, every scene, every 1 minute is in a new location. And in this movie, it's either 50% in the prison and 50% in the courtroom. Now, I didn't mind that. I already knew that a lot of this was going to be him in prison because obviously he is locked up. But I think the courtroom scenes they kind of did over the top with because it just felt like more repetitive. Like, yeah, we know what he did, and it just felt like it kept going on, and I did not like that. And I really like the new characters as well. You know, Harley Quinn was obviously like the biggest new factor in this movie, and I think Lady Gaga did a good job as like acting. One thing that this movie really does well is the acting. You know, the acting in the first one was great. Joaquin Phoenix does even a better job in this one, and I think they both did a great job with their performances. But I guess like just jumping forward to the ending, because that's kind of like the main thing I want to talk about, and that's kind of like the main thing on my mind, because a lot of it, like I said before, I do like. And one other thing that I was a little bit disappointed by is, if you realize, Joker does not kill one single person in this movie. Neither does Lee. I don't think. Yeah, he kills 2 people in his imagination when he has the courtroom music scene, which is probably my favorite because that was like the most Joker-esque moment. And the thing is with the first one, which was expecting more from the second one, is the Joker from the first one, obviously towards the end he becomes the Joker, but in the first one there are so many like Joker moments, like, you know, you can just see like a certain like performance or see a certain scene and just say, hey, that is like the Joker, that is exactly what he would do, like when he's dancing on Murray Franklin's show. There were a few moments like this, but in most reality, the Joker really doesn't exist in this movie. It is either in his imagination or when he is in the courtroom pretending to be the Joker, or when he's like, you know, defending himself, talking with the court, talking with the people around. But anyways, enough rambling on. Let's skip to the ending. So the ending, Arthur gets raped in prison, and then he decides that he does not want to be the Joker anymore during court. And during the court, Lee leaves him. Harley Quinn leaves him. There's a big explosion. Everyone kind of dies except Arthur. He runs away. He gets rescued by a few fans. He meets Lee at the stairs, and then the famous Joker stairs that everyone likes. And then Harley Quinn basically breaks up with him. He no longer calls himself the Joker. That was the whole thing with the movie, is Harley Quinn is really obsessed with the Joker persona, but Arthur gave that up. He did not want to be the Joker anymore, which I'll kind of get back to that in a moment. Or he gets captured again by the cops, and then like I don't even know how to like say it without laughing, but you know, he's in prison now. He's watching TV. He gets a visitor from someone, and one of his fellow inmates comes up to him. He tells him a joke, and then he just stabs him, and then he dies, and then that's it. So like, I could not believe that's how they ended it. You know, first thoughts, like, I thought there was gonna be like more after that, but it just ends. Like, it just ends with him like dying, and that was a really shocking moment. Not because he died, but like that was it. That's how they ended the movie. Now, it was interesting because I actually did get spoiled that Arthur dies in this movie, unfortunately. About a month ago, when they had the film festivals in like Venice and stuff, some dipshit on Twitter spoiled everything. Arthur Fleck dies, right, in big bold letters, and I was hoping it wasn't true, but at the same part, I was like, oh well, I'm expecting it. So it was weird going into the movie knowing that Arthur is going to die at the end of this journey, but I feel like at first glance, it was just kind of like a disappointing, like, fuck you to the audience. I'm like kind of blanking out here just because I just don't know what to say to the ending. But after that, I just kind of felt like so empty. And even though like Arthur did deserve to die at the end, it felt like a very empty moment because he did give up that Joker persona. And going back to that, where he like gives up that, so the whole movie he's kind of struggling between like the Joker persona and him, Arthur, because that's what he's known for. He's known for the Joker persona that he showed to the world. He was kind of invisible to everyone before he became the Joker and killed people, and that's why he's in court. That's the only reason why people care about him. That's kind of like the message that they're trying to tell, is people just care about the Joker. No one really cares about Arthur himself. And that's why Harley Quinn leaves him. That's why he gets stabbed in prison, is because he's no longer the Joker. He's not worthy of being that person, and that inmate decided that he's no longer the Joker in his eyes, so he has to kill him and become the Joker himself. That was an inmate. And looking at some reviews and some stuff, that I had to get like a clearer picture of what the movie was just trying to say in general, because there was a lot of this movie that I still don't know. It's kind of like a blurry image, and there was just so much music, there was so much like stuff and so much dialogue that I feel like I get lost in like what the movie was just trying to say in general. But I think a part of it is that people persuade the Joker and interpretate the Joker in certain elements. And when he does become a real like person, and we see him as Arthur in these two variations, Joker 1 and Joker 2, it may be disappointing to some people. And I was looking at like other reviews and stuff, and people were trying to say it's like kind of like a meta to real life. Todd Phillips, the director, is trying to kill him, trying to be done with the Joker. But me and my friend were talking about that. Like, we don't need like meta, like super like in-depth messages in this movie. Like, we already had that in Joker 1. I think for Joker 2, it should have been more lighthearted. They should have went further with the Joker persona instead of giving that up and killing that at the end. It was just kind of disappointing in that way. That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a Joker movie. And for the first half of that, we got some of that, but when you give that up at the end, it doesn't really become a Joker movie, it becomes an Arthur movie. And I'm fine with that because I like Arthur as a character and I really like him in the first one, but he became the Joker at the end of Joker 1. By the end of this movie, he gives up that. And I understand why he does, and I understand and actually kind of like that, but kind of the execution, it didn't work for me. I just don't know what to think. I think the movie just took itself too seriously at sometimes. I think sometimes I just wish this movie was just kind of a fun, like, you know, thriller again, where Joker's killing people, he's causing mayhem, him and Harley are, you know, running the streets. Kind of like how it was in the first 40 minutes when they burn down the hospital and then they kind of run and dance along. That part was like the most Joker and Harley moment in the movie. And I wish the movie had more parts like that, but it wasn't really like that. It was just trying to tell a deeper message, which, you know, that's fine. I love art. I love movies that kind of challenge me. But for this one, it was disappointing because it is a Batman Joker movie. But I still have a lot to say, but without rambling on anymore, I really want to invite you guys to leave your opinions and comments in the comment section below. I'm really curious of what you guys have to say, and I'm going to try to reply to you as much as I can. Let me know if you liked it, didn't like it, hated it, and if you want to take this conversation elsewhere, join our Discord, and then we can talk more about their other filmmaking stuff in general. Again, like, I still don't know where I land on this movie. I like parts of it. I'm disappointed by others, and I'm not sure how I feel on a grander scale. Like, I love the first one. I love the Batman. I love the Penguin. I'm not sure how I land on this one. So maybe within the next few weeks, maybe when it comes on HBO Max, I'll watch it again, and maybe I'll have a clearer picture with that. But I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm glad a lot of people don't like it as well. I mean, as unfortunate as that is, it happened. I mean, you know, we waited. I used to pray for Joker too, just because I wanted more of this character and I really wanted the story to continue. But now that it has, I'm not sure if I regret it or if, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. But anyways, we're going to end the video here. And if you are new to the channel, you know, consider subscribing. You know, I make movie reviews. I talk about filmmaking. I'm a filmmaker. I make short films on this channel and just kind of document the journey as well. And just talk about whatever really comes out in Hollywood and stuff. I do podcasts here and there. So if that interests you, make sure to subscribe. With that being said, I hope you have a good one. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.